Hi, my name is YILKIN and I'm the author of Blue Mountain Mist. I am doing another entry today, and this one has to do with just picking up any religious book when you're down and out, and I just flipped random page. So when it flips to a random page, you sort of want the skies to guide you in your most difficult times. And the first thing that caught my eye was driving out the nations. Now you have to understand, Hannah was born in Anatolia, but raised in Canada. And in this particular writing, it says, when the Lord, your God, brings you into the land you are entering into to possess and drive out before you many nations, the Hittite, Girgash, Amorites, Jananites, Perizzites, Pivites, and Jebusites, 7 nations larger and stronger than you. And when the Lord your God has delivered them over to you, and you have defeated them, then you must destroy them totally. Make no treaty with them and show no mercy. Do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons. And it almost seems like this little section that I randomly opened up is someone very, very angry, because the Lord's anger will burn against you and will quickly destroy you. This is someone super, super beyond belief angry, but there's something more interesting. Now, we all know the Hittites are from Anatolia, and so are the Amorites and the Jananites, but the remaining 4 words I've never heard about. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that the ranking of someone, number 1, I don't hear the base phonetics that are natural to early human development of the biblical works of art. So when you just randomly open a page and this is what comes out, I take that quite serious. It just shows a lot of anger, and that anger is part of C3's history. To understand this anger, and this could well be a custom Bible given to me, but to understand this anger, you have to understand each culture between Africa to Yakut is all completely different. I mean, there are some cultures that the vagina is very, very holy. There are all other cultures that are very lax and mate between female and male. Then the cultures who are okay with divorce, ones that are not. Each one is unique in their sense, and this is where we are going to stop this and have another look at a different type of book. And the reason is, it's just to understand some of the events that are going on and why I get custom books. Now, the first thing you are looking at is called The Wine of Satan. And if you notice, I am wearing gloves. Why am I wearing gloves? Because Lucifer doesn't bother with Hannah, but his entourage always bothers her. And just for security, just so that because of the age of the book, and to ensure that there's no toxicity, she wears gloves. So the first thing we want to do is turn to this page. Now, this is who it's written by. It's written by Laverne Gay. Now, to understand the story of Lucifer and Hannah, you have to understand the prophecy of the earth. In the prophecy, it states, both in Islam and Judaism, that something's going to happen. Someone's going to come into this planet, and if it can't get resolved, the planet will end. Based on the rapid drop in numbers for population since 1998, it's actually very scary, and we have to be very careful in how we do the presentation. The good thing is the person chosen fits every single culture beautifully. Now, except for what she got introduced, which is the gay and lesbian community. Now, it says Wine of Satan, and most people that are normal monogamous or in heterosexual relationships will find gays completely Satan. And it's just interesting, and we have to be very careful with this community because they get tortured to high hell, and they are very highly sensitive. Laverne is humorously said Laverne with a B, and we play these games with Lucifer all the time in custom books. And of course, he says to my mother, Now he's trying to say, you know, Hannah, you're older, you were born in 1967 for media, you know, mother thing, but it's more Freudian, Hannah thinks, because Hannah also means beautiful mother. So I'm not too sure if that's a good thing, but that's what's in the book. When we get to the prologue now, you have to understand what Hannah did to the planet. She brought out Babel again. Babel is Babylon. And here, the first line, it was hot enough on the road, on the roof, on the Cinque Côté Tower. Now, what is Cinque Côté Tower? And this is the kind of games we play continuously. Cinque Côté means Star Tower. So right at the prologue, they're talking about the Star Tower. And you won't get it because a lot of these things are custom. But if we get to page 9, it says the idea was at once fine and terrible, the banner of the church, and the Muslim menace was all too real. Well, clearly, all of a sudden, in the book of Satan, they're talking about Muslim. This is hands down a custom book, specifically. So they see it as a menace. They don't realize a couple of things. The Islamic religion believes in every single religion out there. One of the plus sides with 9/11 and the fact that they don't keep the banks afloat, they have been targeted and persecuted for the last 40, 50 years, you know, probably with the growth of the Federal Reserve. So they're not liked because they don't believe in interest. They're going to starve to death, but they don't want to take out a loan in the bank. These are all markers that contribute to the real evolve. Now, if you look at here, one line above, it says the name Hildebrand. Hildebrand are the guys that are competing with Hannah. You have to understand, they think it's an artificial story, that this person's just fabricating things, but she was actually conceived in Ararat. Hildebrand is all over the place in Markthem, Ontario, because it's hill, like it's the mountaintop, and they're branding it themselves. And this is just some of the difficulties Hannah runs into. Sorry, the page is kind of stuck. Okay, now, does that prove it is custom? No, it doesn't, but this should do it. The Black Duchess. I mean, Hannah is a white Negro, the war car, and the Black Duchess. Hands down, she doesn't have to look any further. She knows this is directed to her, but she's going through it and giggling once she saw that. But there's other clues too, like for example, the Pirate's Beach. These are, I'm not going to get into what the Pirate's Beach is, but these are all coded for Hannah privately. If we take it one page further, it says to Antioch and beyond, where the Turks ruled. Now, these are all coded. You won't get that, but I can assure you they are custom books to Hannah. Now, what's beautiful about this, and it merges with this, is that there are verbiages, and this is why Hannah's trying so hard to bring it out, the devil's tongue. There are native words, and you don't need to have Turkish at all for this. There's just the standardization. It's part of her Sun collection. You know, if it's brought out, it will do fantastic globally because it pushes green industry. But there are hands down difficulties, and this proved it, at how angry people are. They're trying to drive people out, and it's probably the very old Christian people like the Suryanis who want everybody out, the Chinese, the Kurds, every single buddy except for them, not realizing a couple of things. They don't want you to intermarry. Hannah, or the person that the skies picked that changed Jerusalem, that brought all of this out, it comes from a royally mixed family, in the sense that her education on her global heritage, her DNA migration, made the globe's academics fall to their knees in absolute array, because it taught that there is a connection between her eyes of Europe versus her eyes of China. It made a connection that her womb carried Indian children as well as Africanized children. It also taught the connection of early human nomadic migrations. It highlighted that breaking the wall of every single country's cultural barriers down, there is a problem. They didn't know how to digest it. And people like Hillebrand are very, very valuable because you have to understand Lucifer and Hannah are these groups of people that are pretty closely related, and that is because of the white blue-eye bands from Central Asia, probably about 200 and 250 years, closely related, but worldwide apart in terms of existence, but so valuable for humanity because it's almost like from the animal kingdom to Disney, or from the animal kingdom to the first car, or from the animal kingdom to the Sun collection. If you saw the Sun collection, you probably pass out like just from 5 of the journals. Forget about the remaining 65, sorry. But it's like groups like Hillebrand that are very, very male dominated are really freaking out because they are so sensitive. They don't know how to break through those barriers. And this is why Hannah's so desperately, even though she's in bed, desperately trying to handle intelligence in terms of guiding them and counseling them the right way without being politically embroiled. You see, they want the whole project themselves, but they don't have the audacity to go and ask a female how to handle it or get consulting on it. And she's the only one generating. So instead, they bring out actresses and they have all these people after her and they give her custom books, which are great and dandy, but it doesn't resolve the gist of it. Hannah, at this particular time, is finished. She's wounded. She's trying to do the movie. She's needing the investors. And these guys are just playing games, thinking by learning Turkish, it is resolved. It is not resolved at all because this is not just about Turkish. This is about Black culture. This is about cultural variances between countries. This is about turning it into green industry. And this is about 9.5 billion jobs. But instead of asking Hannah, they just whacked off millions of people over the course of 20 years. Now, why isn't Hannah being nice and just giving it to them? Because they will come, turn around and injure her, and she has a server-style Intel chip in her that might whack off another 1 billion people, and that's the last thing we want. So it's been a standoff of day 4,514 effective today. How difficult it is. And I'm going to present this again this is a fluke, but it's the skies guiding Hannah. How difficult and how angry and how not integrated, and integration means health, what is really going on. And it's the fact that they're using BS words inside a biblical holy book because they don't care. They're trying to crush it because they don't know how to resolve it and forever keep Latin America Latin and Rome. They don't want you to know that foundation. They want that dumbification project. They don't want anybody integrating because by integrating, you're removing the land of slavery. By integrating, you are generating health. By integrating, in Hannah's mind, you are creating green industry. They want dumbification project. They want those races perfectly divided so that when they need a slave, they just grab someone black or someone darker. When they need a whole bunch of series of things, it's nicely chopped up for them. But we are pushing intelligence and we want that chopping up still in the same format, but a woman's vision, at least counsel. And this is where we are today. Another insert. And I had to just show you some of the things that you know, the skies knew it would be very difficult, and she doesn't know how she lived, but that's not relevant. We are just doing another entry, and this one is called The Holy Bible and the Wine of Satan by Laverne Gay. So thank you and have a good day.